Aloha and welcome, everybody. We're so glad you're here tonight. If you're online and joining us, wonderful. We're happy to have you here. We'll be making some announcements about the physical properties of this room and what people can do here, but we're glad you're joining us. We'll be streaming with a couple of breaks until about 7:20. Mahalo. So anyway, welcome. I'm so glad everybody's here. And we have Amy, who is just now coming on. Let me see if I can get the right, there we go. Hi, Amy.
Hi, guys.
Amy's in Alaska. We do have some new people here tonight. So you can see the Sangha, yeah?
Yeah.
Could I ask you just to introduce yourself to Amy and me again?
Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
Hillary. Yeah.
Oop, can you hear that? Let me change mics. There we go. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. Viad.
So what was that? Yeah?
Viad. It's kind of V-I-E-V-E.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, it's Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
And Dimitri.
All right.
Sorry, Bob.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. I heard Alex.
Did you hear Dimitri?
Oh, yeah. Dimitri. Oh, no, I'm not hear Dimitri now. Hi, Dimitri. You're just not on camera. That's why you disappeared from my awareness.
Yeah, I don't have the...
No worries.
Oh, so she can...
Hi, Dimitri. Aloha.
It's this one.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a
It rotates.
Yeah.
That one isn't on.
Oh,
No, it's not.
The camera that's on is this. That's the microphone.
The owl is
The owl is a panoramic 360-degree camera, which we're not using at the moment. And it's a microphone. And I have to switch back and forth so that we don't get the echo online. So if you're online and you're getting an echo, I've screwed up. Happens every time we do this. I don't worry about it too much anymore. All right, so let's just make a couple of quick announcements and I'll turn it over to Amy. First of all, there's a restroom in the foyer there. The important thing to remember is there's two locks. There's a lock on the door, and if you use that, you will probably forget to unlock it when you leave because it will let you out. And then it will be locked and we'll have to go punch the code in. So if you use it, use the slide lock if you can. And if you don't remember, that's fine. I know the code. So does Amy, but she wouldn't be able to get here in time to help. The other thing is it's been very generous of the Bodhi Tree to offer this place to us for free. We pay no rent here, but they can always use whatever help and whatever generosity you have to continue the work here. There's a box, a glass box on a cabinet out in the foyer. If you feel that the experience of being at the Bodhi Tree has been worthwhile, you might consider contributing dana or generosity to it. Amy and I take nothing, so even if you're not impressed or don't care about our sitting, but you love the space, maybe, help out so that other teachers on other nights can continue practicing here. And with that, I'm going to be quiet for a while. I will turn it over to Amy, maybe, if I can figure out how to do that. There you go.
And if you guys are impressed by our offering, then you can even donate even more, just like in our name, to this wonderful place.
and we still don't take anything.
And we still don't take anything. Yeah, just for that. Just for this beautiful place. Okay, well, we're going to start with just a little bit of movement, but we're going to do it from a seated position. Just we'll welcome our bodies a bit into sitting, because sitting can sometimes be, if anybody's ever sat before, the body sometimes has a hard time with sitting. So if at some point you can't hear me well, please just like maybe just give me one of those hand signals that lets me know I'm too quiet and mumbly. That can happen sometimes. In fact, I'll make sure my audio is all the way up over here. It is. Great. Yeah, so we've just come from our lives. I heard you all just came from some rainy weather. And that can be a little bit stressful on the body sometimes. Yeah. This week we got to negative 39 degrees. Negative 39. I think right now outside it's negative 30 degrees. It's a little stressful on the body. And nonetheless, our stressful, this what we go through throughout the day is the holiday season, all these things coming up. I think we forget to check in with what's here in this body. We become these humans walking around in our heads. So this is a time that maybe just, yeah, let's just start with a little bit of rocking back and forth. Here and now. What does this body feel like rocking back and forth? And then we'll come to a pause and maybe let your shoulders back, letting the head pull up straight, the chin dip a bit. And we'll move into something that's like cat cow, but while we're, on the floor. So you can put your hands on your knees if you'd like. And then we'll start out with stretching our back up in that cat-like position, rolling the shoulders back, and then we'll roll them forward, bringing the chest out, shoulders back. And I'll let you do that in your own time, just back and forth with this motion to stretch out the spine. What just came to mind was a half a quote from a teacher that I don't remember which one. And Bob might know, might let us know later on. It was just about meeting this body as a friend. Yeah. So what can we do to meet this body as a friend? Maybe starting with the head area, making a decision for yourself. What could it be to meet this head as a friend? Does it want physical touch? Or maybe the head needs, some stretches, some twists, some head rolls. Maybe the head needs to be propped up a bit on our hand. Or maybe, yeah, whatever is called to it, like combing the hair or the head. You feel like an act of kindness toward this head of ours. And internally sending a wish, may this head be well. May it be peaceful. May the tension, any tension inside the head or around the head, may it ease. And then allowing, maybe inviting any part of the face to soften. And then we'll move to the shoulders. Once again, inviting you to move the shoulders in any way that feels like it's sending them care. And as you do whatever movement or stillness for these shoulders, once again, repeating some phrases like, may these shoulders be well. May they have ease. May they be safe, peaceful. And then moving to the torso. All sorts of different ways the torso could be held or stretched. Checking in with how it feels. Oh, is this one side tight or another side? How's this heart? How's this belly? Or the back? Invitation to send this part of the body wishes for peace and ease. And then lastly, the legs. This will be our last set of movements before we sit in stillness. Allowing the legs to be cared for here. Need to be stretched out. Maybe a little massage along the thighs. Bending the toes, maybe. Maybe thanking these legs for what they did today. All the times they haven't been acknowledged for holding us up, getting us here. Maybe thanking them for what they're about to do. They're about to maybe sit in a position that's not always most comfortable. Not that that has to be the case. If you come into sitting, the intention might be, unless you have a specific practice, the intention might be to find a place of ease, enough ease in the body, in these legs, in this torso, in this neck, enough ease to have presence. And as always, the invitation is with your time here with Bob and I. If at any point the body needs a different position, you can simply pause and choose to do that mindfully, if that's the choice. And if the choice is to stay in stillness when the body feels tricky, to make sure that that's with wisdom, to see if compassion can be present, kindness. Settling in, maybe closing the eyes or lowering the gaze. No matter what you've come from, no matter what you're feeling, can it be, is it available to dedicate this sit for the next 20 minutes or so to kindness? To presence held with metta or kindness. Understanding, maybe love. Choosing is an invitation for the sit. And choose an anchor of kindness, compassion, or maybe love, understanding, patience. And if that's not in your practice, if that doesn't feel available, listen to what would be a support for you right now. You can do your own practice. This is just an invitation. mind can use an anchor, such as phrases like, may I be happy. May all living beings be safe. You can choose one or few words of wishes for yourself, for your loved ones, or this world. Choosing a place it's easy. Imagining that each phrase or feeling tone, intention of kindness toward ourselves and the world is like planting a seed in this heart mind. May that seed grow. And if that feels too inauthentic, you can simply follow the breath. And every time you lose the breath, come back and with kindness. Oh, I'm just coming back. I just got distracted. It feels like it could be a support. You might want to put a hand on the heart. Solidarity. Giving I got you energy. If it's available, we can be our own best friends. May we have our back and trust our goodness. Here in the present. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now. And we know our goodness. We know we're enough. And if we cannot, then we have compassion for the parts of us who cannot believe that right now. May it be otherwise one day. our care and compassion to others. Mirrors our care and compassion to ourselves. So this practice can matter. Is it possible to whisper sweet nothings to ourselves? Like we'd say them to a loved one. Here and now. However, this practice, this sat was for you. May we accept it as it is. Planting seeds, watering those that are there. Who knows? Who knows what will grow? Breathe. Thank you, dear ones, for going on that journey, trying out that journey with me. So for the next 7 minutes, we'll have a little bit of a break. You can walk around a bit, stretch, or you can stay seated if you want to practice more. No matter what you choose, though, please let's maintain silence and presence as we do so. And thank you again. Back in about 7 minutes.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're online, we'll be having a bit of a Dhamma talk and then another sitting. And if you're not online, I hope the break was good. I hope the break was good if you're online as well. So we've been taking a journey for the last many weeks through the 10 paramis, or perfections, qualities of the Buddha. And those started with generosity, which was one of the first things the Buddha taught, then sila, or ethics, and we moved on to renunciation, which I've always thought of mostly as giving up the stories about myself. For monks, of course, it's giving up all worldly possessions and things. And moving on, it was wisdom, energy, patience, truthfulness, determination, and resolve we did last time. And now we're to one of my favorites, which is metta, which often is translated as loving kindness. You can also think of it as loving friendliness. I also always like to picture it as, you know, when you're walking down the street and a stranger smiles at you, that, when you smile at a stranger. Metta is a Pali word, but it also it's one of the 4 Brahma Viharas, which are the 4 divine abodes. Metta, loving kindness. Karuna is compassion. Mudita is, it's joy, but it's the joy in other people's joy. And upekkha, or what am I thinking of? Equanimity. It's one of my favorite words, is the state of being equanimous. I just love the sound of that. I'm going to start tonight, though, by offering you guys a reading of the Metta Sutta in a form that's also chantable. On New Year's, we're going to be chanting this. This is one of the things we'll be doing on New Year's. There'll be a 9 o'clock New Year's thing. So I'd like to offer, would you guys like to chant tonight? This is not an obligation to have a good voice. I do not. But if you'd like to try it, we could, or I can simply read it. Or you can ask me just to chant it. But you need to let me know. I'm sorry? We're open for it? All right. Wonderful. So if we look at the text, you'll see little marks going up and down. So I will chant the first line to give you an example of it. Pardon my voice. This is not about singing or anything else. It's actually pretty monotone. And then we'll join in. And if you just want to read along, that's great. You needn't feel embarrassed. There's no camera on you. There's only a camera on me. And I got caught chanting this at a meeting at work because I accidentally had my microphone on today. So here we go. Now let us chant the Buddha's words on loving kindness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. I'm not hearing anybody. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety, May all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a parent protects with their life their child, their only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outward and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding, not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Wonderful. I actually love the chanting. I get that vibration and it just feels so good in the body. You all sounded wonderful. So thank you. So this is one of the translations of the Metta Sutta. This one is generally suitable for chanting. There are others, many others. There's an online webpage that has like 24 translations of it. But metta originated, to the best of my knowledge, as one of the aspects of Brahma, with four faces, if you've ever seen the statues. And the faces would be metta, compassion, joy, and equanimity. And so people would say that Brahma looked on you with favor, and it might be because you were experiencing one of these things. The radical change the Buddha made was in suggesting that we could emanate, we could do this. This didn't need to be the God Brahma smiling at us. We could put forth loving kindness. We could put forth karuna. We could put forth compassion. We could take pleasure in the joy of others. And we could be equanimous, which is to be okay in whatever circumstances there are. Metta is something I've practiced a lot. It's actually my main practice at the moment. I've spent the last 2 summers at extended metta retreats at Spirit Rock. And so for about 9 days, you will spend an entire day generating metta for yourself, or pervading metta for yourself. May I be safe, may I be happy. You'll spend another day for a very loving being in your life. You'll spend another day on somebody you don't know well, right? Somebody that maybe you met on a bus, or the lady who walks the dog in your street. You've never met her because, you know, you're having coffee. You see her at 6 a.m. walking the dog. You don't know her. Then you'll pick a difficult person And this is traditionally how it's done. And we ask that, like, don't pick the most difficult person in your life. Don't pick national news figures you're angry at. Pick the friend with whom you had a crossword yesterday to start with. You can work up to, the whatever, and then generating meta for the whole world. And so we did that. And it's amazing, if you spend a lot of time doing it, it really begins to change the way you look at yourself and other people. I fell in love with Deepa Ma on a retreat a couple of weeks ago. I was on a weekend retreat, and I read the biography of Deepa Ma, who was a Bengalese woman, a mother who lost her husband and lost 2 children. And so was very heartbroken. And she had this real urge to practice. And she did. And she became one of the foremost lay teachers of meditation in the Theravadan Burmese tradition. She studied under, the Mahasi Sayadaw tradition, Upandita, and those folks. But she also had this wonderful blessing of being one of the most loving people around. And so one of the quotes in the book that I just absolutely fell in love with is, she said, "In my experience, there is no difference between loving kindness and mindfulness." When we're practicing mindfulness, it is a samatha practice, samadhi. In other words, it's a concentration practice. It is not an insight practice in the sense. But I do believe personally from experience, if you get deep enough into metta and concentrations, insights will arise. And we do need to develop insight we do need to develop concentration to have insight. But one of the things I just loved about her is everyone describes her as just this loving being, just this most loving person. She insisted that her students and anyone she met not just practice on the cushion, right? We don't practice here, whatever style we're doing, to become really good meditators sitting here, right? We practice to take this practice out into the world. And she also talked a lot about taking that loving kindness that we can generate into the world and living that way. And I found, I like to joke, but it's also true, that I practice because my friends tell me I'm a nicer person when I practice. And so that feels pretty good, but it's also a much better way to live. When I can be loving and kind in outlook, I don't get nearly as upset with, the stuff that happens in our life. So it's very comfortable that way. I took this from a page, and I want to read the whole thing. It's just, we'll wait for the siren here. We'll practice insight, hearing. And maybe we could put our hand on our heart and have a little metta for whoever is suffering at the moment, in whatever way that siren is answering that call. So you can practice stealth metta when you're at the shopping mall too. You can just wish everybody well. So these are some quotes and some thoughts about her. Meditation is love. Blessing others will keep your mind attentive. She blessed everything she came in contact with: humans, animals, cars, airplanes, buildings, modeling a life of continuous blessing one student had never imagined was possible. And I'll be honest with you, I never imagined that practicing metta for like 3 weeks, 18 hours a day, is something I would ever do. Nor would I have told you before I've done that it would have such a profound effect on me. So my teachers a couple of years basically told me this summer, after I'd practiced much metta for a year, they said, keep it up another year of making metta your main She also was a very warm person. She moved into a building with her daughter. That was, if anyone's ever, I haven't been to India, but I've been to Asia, and it can be very crowded in places, especially in places where there isn't wealth or even, middle class living like we might think we're used to. Very loud, boisterous building with everything. They said after she'd lived there for a few months, the building was calm and peaceful and quiet. Not because she yelled at anybody to keep quiet, but she simply modeled metta. She modeled that. And so I've taken that sort of as a practice I would like to model. She had warrior principles, I guess she called them. I'm going to read them because one of them is super important. But I think these are good things for all of us as meditators. It says, if you cannot walk, then crawl to your goal. Do not let loss, sadness, fear, or anxiety deter you. Focus your mind and let meditation never leave you. This is the one that touches me. Be fierce with all the love in your heart. Never forget that everything is impermanent. Let go of thinking. Your mind is all stories. Remember your power. It is only beliefs that limit you. Whenever you get a chance, be still inside. Sit like a mountain. There is no problem. Only your thinking creates a problem. Abide as thought-free awareness. Practice now. Do not imagine there will be time later. Go further. Never give up the Dharma. And even when you are dying, let your last breath be a bow to the Buddha. I had some other thoughts, but I think that's enough. I think her 10 principles really resonate with me. So why don't we sit with a metta practice? This will be about 20 minutes. Just allow ourselves to settle into a comfortable position. In metta, we needn't be very alert and upright. It is a concentration practice, but it is also loving and kind. And as we did in Amy's practice, we want to acknowledge our bodies and be good to them. So we might start with some deep, refreshing breaths, cleansing breaths. Taking deep breaths in, and as we exhale, allowing our thoughts and cares to go away for a few minutes. We don't push them out. We simply allow them to depart at their own or stay. All are welcome. There are no strangers here. And we allow our consciousness to settle into our heart space the same way our bodies are settling into our cushion or our chair, allowing our body to cradle our consciousness, the same as the earth holds us cradled, connected to the ground beneath us. We'll spend a moment just sitting and knowing we are sitting. In this practice of metta, often we bring different beings to mind, as I've explained. This sitting will be a little different. It's one I learned from one of my teachers, Bonnie Duran, who learned it from Bhikkhu Analayo at the Berry Buddhist Studies Center, a renowned scholar and leader. But we will start somewhat traditionally. So let's bring to mind the most loving being in our life. This is someone for whom a crossword is nearly impossible. It could even be a puppy or kitten, a newborn baby, that loving aunt or uncle you look forward to seeing over the holidays, who always has a hug, a smile, and well-wishing, pervading metta on their own. And let's bring this being to mind and start with traditional phrases to light the pilot lamp of metta. Silently, we might say phrases such as, "May you be well. May you be safe and protected. May you be happy and open to joy. May you live with ease." Allowing ourselves to offer these with intent. Might be just a little, might be a lot. We're just allowing this being in consciousness to bring forth the memories of their smile, their loving kindness, and lighting our pilot lamp. If our minds are especially busy, we might lengthen the phrases. May you be safe and protected from inner and outer harms. May you be happy and open to joy. May you be healthy and strong in body, heart, and mind. May you live with ease, wisdom, and equanimity. If it's comfortable for you, we might put our hand over our heart and feel the touch and warmth. Just as we pervade metta, we can also allow ourselves to absorb metta. We might think of our heart space pervading metta as a candle. Might be small and fluttering. It might be bright and strong. Its light will reach everywhere. In time, weak, strong, it will pervade. And we might drop this most loving being from our consciousness and just allow ourselves to pervade metta to all beings. Imagining we're in a darkened room, a curtained room with curtains all around us. Above and below, to all sides, front and back. Our candle, dim or strong, fills the room with warmth and kindness. If you like, and it's helpful, it's possible and encouraged to continue with the phrases, but they aren't necessary. Allowing our metta to pervade, we open the curtains in front of us and allow our metta to touch all beings to the front. From the spot we sit to the edge of the unknown and beyond, may all beings be well. Opening the curtains to the right, we allow metta to pervade, shining our light on all beings, to the front, to the right, may all be well. Continuing, we open the curtains behind us. Again, pervading metta in three directions. Allowing our candle, our flame, to touch all beings. Opening the curtain to the left, we pervade metta in all directions around us. May all beings be well, be safe, be happy, be healthy. And finally, opening the curtains above and below. We pervade metta in every direction. It may be that even in pervading metta, thoughts arise, sensations and feelings, and we allow them to be there. Welcome them also to be touched by metta, remembering the words of Dipa Ma. In my experience, there is no difference between mindfulness and loving kindness. We welcome all to this party. There are no strangers. If in our practice, thoughts of beings, perhaps including ourselves, who are suffering, we might flavor our metta with compassion, with karuna. I'm aware of your suffering, of your pain. May your suffering come to an end. If thoughts of beings enjoying life, enjoying themselves, images of children at holidays arise, we might flavor our metta with sympathetic joy, mudita. I see your joy. I take joy in your joy. May your happiness continue. Whatever arises, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, we allow ourselves to experience upekkha. May I simply be present in this moment. Can I stay with this? May all beings be well. Shortly, I will invite the bell to ring. I encourage us not to hurry back, but to allow the sound of the bell to join with our metta and carry it to all who can hear and beyond. Thank you for practicing with us tonight. It's now 7:20. We'll be ending the stream, so if you're watching online, thank you for joining us. And we'll be moving to the next part where we invite you to ask questions or have reflections. But thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll be back. We won't be here next week on Christmas Eve if you're tuning in. Thank you.